Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of your Daily Guides, the series where I dive into in-depth guides and walkthroughs of games like Honkai Star Rail, Zenless, and Wuthering Waves. With Zani's rerunning coming, a lot of players are asking the same question. How good is she actually, and is she worth your pulls if you don't have her best partner? See, on paper, she's an absolute powerhouse. Fast rotations, massive spectral scaling, and one of the smoothest burst cycles in the game. But all of that depends on how you build around her and who you have as a partner. Today, we're diving deep into what makes Zani tick, how her value changes when she's paired with Phoebe versus when she's running solo, and whether she's a must-pull for your account or just another hype trap dressed in spectral flair. Before we jump in, a huge shout out to LOOTBAR for sponsoring today's video. It's honestly one of the easiest ways to top up your games. Just drop your UID, pick your server, and you're good to go. Whether you're a budget player grabbing the monthly pass or a whale going for the big packs, they've got you covered. And with thousands of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot, you already know it's legit. Still not convinced? I even posted a quick 30-second top-up on my TikTok so you can see how fast it really is and how it works. So hit the link in the description or my homepage, get up to 20% off as a new user, and help support the channel while you're at it. So first, let's talk about Zani herself, because her design is deceptively simple but built around precision. Zani's entire kit revolves around utilizing accumulated Spectro Frazzle put by either Phoebe or Spectro Rover. Anytime team members apply Spectro Frazzle, she instantly calculates and deals the damage of all stacks and applies the corresponding amount of Bright Sun's Ember during her ultimate to deal massive damage. That's why her rotation feels like a rhythm. Apply Frazzle, trigger her Liberation, which then converts those spectral stacks for big spectral burst damage, but the thing is, maintaining that uptime isn't always consistent on her own, which is where Phoebe comes in. Phoebe is basically Zani's enabler. Her Frazzle application rate is insane, her kit constantly feeds Zani the stack she needs, and her resonance interactions line up perfectly with Zani's rotation. When the two are together, you don't just get faster stack generation, you get smoother damage windows, longer uptime on spectral buffs, and less downtime between bursts. It's that synergy that makes the duo feel so fluid. You go from build-up to detonation seamlessly, and that's what pushes Zani into top-tier DPS territory. Now, without Phoebe, things change, not dramatically, but noticeably. Zani can still hit hard, especially with solid substacks and a consistent Frazzle source like Spectro Rover, but you'll start to feel gaps in her rhythm. Frazzle stacks take lower than what Phoebe can give, which in turn does not fill up Zani's resonance gauge fast enough, and in turn her burst windows feel shorter, and she needs to rely on perfect timing to keep her buffs up. In solo setups or mixed element teams, she drops from that near meta-defining peak to more of a high A-tier carry. Still strong, still stylish, but not the unstoppable force she is when Phoebe's heating her stacks non-stop. The difference comes down to efficiency. With Phoebe, Zani's output is effortless. Without her, you're working harder for smaller windows. That doesn't mean she's a bad pull, but it does mean her ceiling is heavily tied to her team context. If you've already got Phoebe, Zani's value skyrockets. She's worth every pull, especially if you invest in her signature weapon, which upon dealing damage ignores 8% of the target's defense and amplifies Spectral Frazzle damage dealt for 6 seconds. But if you don't have Phoebe and you're not planning to chase her later, then Zani becomes more of a luxury pick than a must-have. She's incredibly fun, visually stunning, and technically rewarding, but she's not a universal plug-and-play DPS like Augusta or Yuno. So in short, Zani is amazing, but only when she's in the right company. With Phoebe, she's top-tier, fluid, and consistent. Without her, she's strong but situational. Whether you should pull really depends on your roster and your willingness to build around her core mechanic, because if you do, she'll absolutely deliver. If not, you might want to save those pulls for someone who shines solo. Either way, she's a fascinating addition to the roster, one that rewards players who understand her rhythm and build synergy over brute force. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and found it helpful, make sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.